Okay, this lecture is going to talk to you about chapter 11. Again, we're not doing the whole chapter. We're going to focus primarily on flexible budgets. Just like the prior chapters, we've spent a lot of time talking about budgeting. But all the budgets we've seen so far have said, we are going to sell this many products. We're going to make this many products. But sometimes you really don't know. In the case of exercise 31 in chapter 11, they would like us to do a budget assuming they make 3,500 products, 4,000 products, and 4,500 products. So we're looking at three possible levels of production and trying to figure out what the cost will be if we make each amount of products. They tell us that raw materials for the products involve 2 leather strips that are $7 a piece. So will be $14 for every one of our products for raw materials. Well, that makes it pretty easy. You make 3,500 products, going to be $14 a piece. So 3,500 times 14. And I want to replicate that formula to the other two cells. So I want to have Excel always coming back to this $14 amount. So it'll cost $49,000. Take away the pennies on the end here. And then if I drag this over, now I want it to be 4,000 times 14. And that did do that. And then 4,500 times 14, just as you would have predicted, the cost went up as we moved across the levels of production. Labor, we're supposed to take an hour and a half at $18 an hour. So 1.5 times 18, and it's going to cost $27 in labor costs to make each product. So we're going to do pretty much the same thing. Number of products times $27, and because I want it to always times by $27, put those little dollar signs in there and drag it across. Go. Variable overhead, same pattern. 1.5 hours times $1.20 an hour. So this is not going to be a huge amount. It's going to be $1.80 in overhead, variable overhead for every product that we make. And we'll stretch that across. So far, pretty mundane. Fixed overhead, that's the only one that's going to kind of buck the trend. It's not going to follow the same pattern. Fixed overhead means it's fixed. It doesn't change with how much production we do. So every single one of these columns will be $6,800. It won't increase as we increase production. So that's why I'm not putting anything in the per unit column, because we can't really say it's a certain amount per unit. It's just $6,800 for that period of time, no matter how many we produce. So then if we total our columns, we now know the total costs. Let's just go ahead and do that. The problem takes it one step further. It would like us to come up with a per unit cost under each of these levels. So at 3,500 products, it costs $160,000. So we'll divide total cost by the product, and we'll do that for each of the columns. And you can see the cost goes down as we make more. Well, these are going to go with steady $14, $27, $1.80, no matter how many you make. So the only difference is the fact that the fixed overhead gets stretched and spread over more products. So each product incurs less per unit of fixed costs. To kind of help you see that, I'm going to do a really crazy example. Let's say we make only 10 products. Just a hypothetical story problem didn't go here, but we can do this easy enough. 10 times $14. So materials would be $140. Labor would be $270. Just a real small amount of variable overhead, $18. But we'd still have $6,800 in fixed costs. We'd have a very large total cost. So when we divided it by how many products we made, it's $724 to make one product, when we were looking at $45-ish to make one product. The reason being that $6,800 was only spread over 10 products. Each product had to absorb $680 of that fixed cost. So it's so important that we understand our fixed costs and what levels of production make it realistic. That's what the break-even analysis that we looked at earlier helps us do. So, like I said, this column is my own addition to the problem, wasn't asked for in the problem. The rest, however, is very much what we were asked to do and what you're going to be asked to do in your 2 exercises. Let me know if you have any questions, but I think you set up pretty well to do this. Watch your question 46. The only confusing part is it talks about how many minutes and hours it takes to make these products, and that can get a little confusing. Let me know if you have any questions, and pretty soon I should be putting up the lecture for chapter 13, definitely by the end of the weekend.